This is a very, very special HA After Dark. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been vindicated today, especially today. We're being vindicated all the time. When this first started, ladies and gentlemen, I was saying that Hillary Clinton went ahead, her server was hacked, the whole world got a hold of it. I wrote, but her top secret emails, but her deleted emails talking about this very thing that we found out today. And it's all going down right now. It is all going down. And nobody, CNN and MSNBC and Washington Post, New York Times, they don't really care because it implicates all of them. So to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to continue these live streams. Hit subscribe right now. Please share this segment everywhere. From here on out till November, when Republicans sweep Congress and Democrats implode even further into the depths of despair, go ahead, share every segment, subscribe to this channel, because this is one of the few channels that is addressing a phenomenon, a sea change, the if you want to call it deep state or FBI or whatever. Peter Strzok today completely exposed a conspiracy against Trump. He did not do a good job. Louis Gohmert destroyed any semblance of Strzok's credibility by what he said, which was fantastic. But he found out, Gohmert and others are talking about the IG report and the fact that a foreign entity was receiving Clinton's emails, including the top secret special access program intelligence, which Peter Strzok acknowledged that Comey stated she had SAP intelligence. He didn't seem bothered by that, which was very, very frightening. He's like, yeah, well, Comey already, explained that that her server had. Well, how did it get there? And where did it go after it got there? So now Louis Gohmert, approaching 200 viewers, 2 minutes in. It's the middle of the night or morning, depending on where you are. So thank you, people in the UK, people in India, people watching around the world, Canada, Norway, France. Thank you. Nepal. Thank you, Louis D. Anyway, thank you so much. Now, let's go ahead and let's just get right to it. We'll get to the video. Where's the video of this? So we got 212 people. Peter Strzok, really quickly while this is loading, Peter Strzok was kicked off the Mueller probe because he was biased. Gohmert was 100% right to call out Strzok. 100% right. Because what Strzok did was against every FBI protocol, and the Office of Professional Responsibility is right now looking at Strzok. Specifically because he broke protocol. You cannot be, he was not just a regular average person. Okay, we're going to get to the Gohmert video in a second, but this thing's taking forever. You can't say, well, my bias didn't affect anything. Robert Mueller kicked him off the Mueller probe, number one. Number two, there's no evidence of Trump Russia. There's nothing. We don't know. We have no idea. Well, there's no evidence of a DNC hack, number one. The DNC never gave its computer service to the FBI. Number two, the NSA is moderately confident. Number three, the CIA and FBI are moderately confident or highly confident because they have no evidence, so they can only say they're confident. That's the difference. We are certain that Hillary Clinton went ahead and transferred top secret intelligence. I'm going to cite the Luke Rosiak article right now. We are certain that Hillary Clinton put SAP intelligence on her server somehow. We are certain of this. So hold on. Let's go ahead and continue here. Let's start this. I'll read this right now. So, a member of the House Committee on the Judiciary, the House Committee on the Judiciary said during a hearing Thursday that a government watchdog found that nearly all of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's emails were sent to a foreign entity, and that the FBI didn't follow up on that finding. They didn't follow up on that finding. They didn't follow up on how she transferred the information, number one. There would never be any evidence of a hack. Why would, well, let's put it this way. Number one, in terms of evidence of a hack, you wouldn't get a thank you card from Russia. So Defense Secretary Robert Gates states it's almost certain that China, Russia, and Iran hacked Clinton's server. She also wiped her server clean. Then the FBI the FBI said it's likely, and Strzok changed likely. It was somebody changed almost certain to likely that her server was hacked. It was unencrypted for 6 months. She used an AT&T email account. Let's just go ahead really quickly before we get to Louis Gohmert. There's a Politico article. What happens if you have top secret intelligence and you use an unencrypted server? So before we get to Louis Gohmert and before we get to the IG report, which finds that her emails were going to a foreign entity, which is insane. There's a Politico article that talks about the email addresses that she used. My computer is it updated and it's like all jacked up now. Okay. So on March 18th, this is Politico. On March 18th, 2009, Hillary Clinton stopped using her long-standing email, hr15 at attblackberry.net. She was sworn in late January. So from late January to March 18th, she had an hr15 at att.blackberry.net. Then she switched to HROD17. But for the first 3 months of HROD17 at clintonemail.com, according to Venafi, a Utah firm, it was unencrypted. So up until June, from late January until June, she had either an unencrypted blackberry.net AT&T email or an unencrypted clintonemail.com. Okay, but let's go ahead here.
Concerned about a hostile foreign power affecting our election. Do you recall the Intelligence Community Inspector General Chuck McCullough having an investigation into an anomaly found on Hillary Clinton's emails?
I do not.
Well,
So McCullough was the person. The funny thing is, he's like, I don't remember. He's the person who started the Clinton email investigation, basically. He's the person who said, hey, you know what? There are classified emails on her unencrypted server. I'm going to do my Strzok imitation, but it's not Strzok. It's actually, the real Strzok is the opposite of this guy, but the same type of person.
refresh your recollection, the Intelligence Community Inspector General Chuck McCullough sent his investigator, Frank Rucker, along with an ICIG attorney, Jeanette McMillan, to brief you and Dean Chappelle and two other FBI personnel.
So he's saying Charles McAuliffe. Charles McAuliffe is the guy who basically said, he was the first person who said, hey, wait a second. This was in 2015. This is why the whole thing started. The whole thing started because Charles McAuliffe said, hey, there's not only classified intelligence, but there's so much classified intelligence that I can't even, the inspector generals who looked at the server initially had to get an updated security clearance. They could not look at everything that was on Clinton's server. So that's what he's talking about. And they met with Strzok, and Strzok's like, I don't remember.
Hell, that I won't name at this time, about an anomaly they had found on Hillary Clinton's emails that were going to and from the private unauthorized server that you were supposed to be investigating. Now, do you remember it?
I remember meeting Mr. Rucker on either one or two occasions. I do not remember the specific content or discussions.
Well, I'll help you with that too then. Mr. Rucker reported to those of you, the four of you there, in the presence of ICIG attorney.
It's pretty amazing also how Peter Strzok, if you actually want the clip, this is pretty like insane. If you watch the clip of Strzok and you just like pause it, you get like he has this constant smirk, but with this evil grin or unhappy kind of pseudo grin smirk. He looks kind of normal, like whatever, this normal slime ball. But when you pause it, he looks downright evil. But we have almost 400 people. It's the middle of the night. Thank you, everyone. So let's check this out.
That they had found this anomaly on Hillary Clinton's emails going through her private server. And when they had done the forensic analysis, they found that her emails, every single one except for 4, over 30,000 of them, were going to an address that was not on the distribution list. It was a compartmentalized bit of information.
He's looking, so basically, Freedom 132209101. What up, brother? Do you think Jim Jordan should be Speaker of the House and my gut, Trey should be AG? And my guy, Trey Gowdy, should be AG. I think Jim Jordan should be Speaker of the House. From what I understand, Trey Gowdy actually is leaving politics. Thomas Lucas, this is awesome. You are going to love this. Basically, Thomas and everyone who just turned on, I'll tell you right now. And Freedom 132209101. This is exactly, basically, why do you want Jim Jordan? Because we just found out today that Hillary Clinton's emails were going to an entity, a foreign entity. Not only not on the State Department approved list. You can't just go ahead and like email, Joe Schmo someplace. If you're Secretary of State and you have classified intelligence on a state.gov server, much less a private server outside. I mean, Christian Saucier was thrown into prison for 1 year away from his family for a photo. She had special access program intelligence, top secret intelligence, and over 2,000 classified emails. They were all being sent to a foreign entity. We're going to find that out now. Aunt Luede, Aunt, this is for the hilarity of the last stream I caught up on. You need your medication. Absolute comedy gold. Oh, we'll get there in a second. Louis Gohmert is raw. Louis Gohmert raw. Louis Gohmert gone wild. Republicans gone wild. Ding, 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 ding. Republicans gone wild.
That was sending it to an unauthorized source. Do you recall that?
Sir, I don't.
Well, he went on to explain it. And
Sir, I don't. We never even looked at where the emails were going. Sir, I don't recall. Oh, you're telling me, sir, that that Hillary Clinton's emails were not only outside the U.S. government in her basement, but were then being forwarded to a perhaps foreign hostile entity? I don't recall that. No, I was texting my lover or trying to cover up other aspects of the email investigation. I don't recall that. But we were fabricating evidence about Trump Russia with the Steele dossier that had prostitutes peeing on a bed. And we were working with Mother Jones journalists also. But I don't recall that, Congressman. I don't recall that emails were being sent to a foreign entity.
and you didn't say anything. You thanked him. You shook his hand. But the problem was that it was going
It's true, Crazy Eddie.
to an unauthorized source that was a foreign entity unrelated to Russia. And from what you've said here, you did nothing more than nod and shake the man's hand when you didn't seem to be all that concerned about our national integrity of our election when it was involving Hillary Clinton. So the forensic...
So what Gohmert is saying is you were so worried about Trump possibly working with a foreign power, yet when it came to so Freedom 132200901, definitely Jim Jordan for Speaker of the House, and I think Trey Gowdy is not going to be there, and Luide. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, the last live stream was pretty funny. I gotta say, it was pretty funny. Well, we're gonna get to the hilarity in a moment, but there's 500 people watching. It's in the middle of the night, 17 minutes in.
Examination was done by the ICIG, and they can document that. But you were given that information and you did nothing with it. And one of the things I found most egregious with Mr. Horowitz's testimony, and by the way, Horowitz got a call 4 times by someone wanting to brief him, leaving messages telling him about this, and he never returned the call.
He never returned the call for the same reason Strzok never found out where this information was going to. This is the worst thing for the FBI. The FBI used to be a prestigious organization. They still were corrupt. In U.S. history, you could say there were moments where the FBI was corrupt, or there were moments where the FBI, certain FBI officials, whether it's J. Edgar Hoover or whatever, were corrupt. Beavernator. But you have a situation here where they have single-handedly destroyed the prestige of the FBI for a generation of young people. For a generation of young people. If you're the type of person who goes into the FBI, you're the type of person who wants to listen to Louis Gohmert. Even if you're leaning to the left, you want to listen to security breaches, not just breaches in protocol. All the bureaucratic stuff will be the foundation of future criminal indictments, eventually for Hillary Clinton as well. But if you're the type of person, as a young person, I want to be in the FBI, you want to be that kind of straight-laced, you want to go ahead and be at the top law enforcement agency in the land because you want to combat corruption, crime, evil, and you have Peter Strzok to look up to. He's stupping Lisa Page, the guy who's married. Okay, I'm not going to, it's obviously stupid to do, but I'm not going to condemn him for that, even though it's not something I would do, and it's a crazy thing to do, but I'm not going to condemn him for that. I'm not going to condemn him for that at all. People make mistakes, depending on whatever. It's pretty much a mistake that you shouldn't make, because at that point you should just go ahead and end the relationship. But anyway, the point is this. It's not a matter of condemning. It's a matter of your dirty laundry being the basis for people to say, hey, you know what, he did lie. So not only was he stooping Lisa Page, which also shows something about his credibility, a little bit about his credibility, he is also going ahead and doing everything to document his real-time conspiracy against Trump. We need to stop Trump. He has the dumbest explanation about an insurance policy, but we can't take the risk of Trump becoming president. We have to engage in the insurance policy. Trump voters are smelly. Oh, we had a rivalry with that county. It's like, give me a break. He hates Trump, and his hatred of Trump leads him to say, well, stop Trump. He's a menace. And here we have a situation where Peter Strzok is being called out by Louis Gohmert regarding emails, classified emails being sent outside of the United States. And the IG didn't even address that.
He had 500 pages of bias that he gave him. And then he threw a bone to the Democrats and said, but we can't find bias. And let me tell you, when you have text messages, Mr. Strzok, the way you do, saying the things you did, you'd been better off coming in here and say, look, that was my bias. And you kind of get around to that a little bit when you say, hey, everybody's got political views. Those are called biases. And we all have them. And you have come in here and said, I had no bias. And you're straight face. And I watched you in the private testimony you gave. And I told some of the other guys, he is really good. He's lying. He knows, we know he's lying. And he could probably pass a polygraph. Amazing.
Mr. Chairman.
So that was the first jab. Here it comes. That's right. You're like me. Colby, you're like me. Basically, we know. So he didn't pass the polygraph, okay? His polygraph was out of focus. Ding! The arm flew off. It was out of focus. Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, point of order. This point of order.
No, the gentleman will state his point of order.
A member of this committee just asserted that this witness was under oath and a former agent of the FBI lied. There is no evidence that. I asked him to withdraw it.
I do not withdraw.
I asked him to withdraw it.
But he is not a member of Congress. It's not a violation of the rule. And just as expressing bias,
Trump got Ember on mankind
about what a hero
there's not a single person on this committee who has ever characterized a witness.
Gentleman from Rhode Island. Gentlemen,
my time.
That's a
gentlemen.
Okay, so Meatbag McMurka. Trump forgot Emperor of Mankind 2020. No sarcasm. All right. That's right. There will be a Louis G. Thug Life. There has to be. It has to be like multiple different ones. Okay, so the New York Democrats are all over this. And it's not that you can't stop the Gohmert train. It's a runaway freight train of righteous indignation. And it's going to level Strzok. Holy crap, this is amazing. This is the best part ever. So from here on out, I'm going to rewind this continual loop about 70 times. So if you don't want to watch this, hear this 70 times,
From Rhode Island, no, the disgrace, what this man has done.
The gentleman from Texas will suspend for a moment.
There is the disgrace. And it won't be recaptured anytime soon because of the damage you've done to the justice system. And I've talked to FBI agents around the country. You've embarrassed them. You've embarrassed yourself. And I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk, how many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eyes and lie to her about Lisa?
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous.
Mr. Chairman, please, there's
You know, Chairman, this is a horrible
I
harassment with.
forward that you need your medication.
Gentleman controls the time.
I ask that the witness be permitted to respond.
We will be permitted.
Sir.
We will be permitted.
Hillary Clinton during your investigation, besides
This is so good. O.J. Clinton, the best in America, all in one name. This attack on the FBI's integrity has agents flipping out, and then their guns fall out of their pockets, and they're shooting someone in the leg at a dance club. Oh, that's true. I heard about that. That's insane. That is insane. Oh my God. Oh my God. And it's like, aren't Glocks supposed to? What do the FBI have? They're supposed to have 3 internal safeties, and not supposed to go off if they drop if they're dropped. But I have to find out what he was using anyway. You're right. O.J. Clinton, the best of America in one name. Yoni A. From visions of Ariella to hallucinations of Strzok. That's pretty much the truth. Pretty much the truth. Exactly. Hallucinations, or fornications of Strzok. You're right, though. Leonard McCarthy. Loudoun County is right next to Fairfax County, Northern Virginia, not 100 miles away. Gaslighting, non sequitur nonsense. Wow. Wow. That is gaslighting, non sequitur nonsense. Wow. Okay, so we have to just. So, O.J. Clinton, thank you. Meatbag McMurka, thank you. The best names here. O.J. Clinton, boom, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Yes. Someone said DDT. From visions of Ariel's hallucinate, or the fornications of Strzok. You're right, though. Best of luck, Yoni A. Visions of Ariel. I can't wait to see it in the movies and remember the little people. This, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Lennon McCarthy, it's true. So that's right. Let's do this again. We have to do this again.
times did you look so?
That's a gentleman from Rhode Island will
praise
suspend.
him? No, the disgrace.
Mr.
What this man has done.
The gentleman
to
from
our justice.
Texas will suspend for a moment.
There is the disgrace. And it won't be recaptured anytime soon because of the damage you've done to the justice system. And I've talked to FBI agents around the country. You've embarrassed them. You've embarrassed yourself. And I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk, how many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about Lisa?
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, please, there's
You know, Chairman, this is a horrible harassment.
that you need your medication.
Gentleman controls the time.
I ask that the witness be permitted to respond.
We will be permitted.
Sir.
We will be
Did
permitted.
you
to
ever
respond. The
talk to
gentleman
Hillary
controls the time.
Clinton during your investigation?
You should see the Democrats are like, S. Marie B. I sent you a late night rock song on Twitter at Free Speech Art. Thank you, S. Marie B. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and look. Thank you so much for your support for this channel. Thank you so much. Late night rock song. Thank you so much, S. Marie B. I will find that. Hold on one second. Let me see real quick. At Free Speech RN. Go ahead. Da-da-da. Yoni A. Do I smell toast? Straw got burned. That's true. Thank you, Yoni A. Thank you. Okay, so Free Speech RN. All right, I will find this. I will find this later, but I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Free Speech RN. Thank you. Thank you, S. Marie B. Thank you so much. I will check that on Twitter. Thank you. Jeff McDaniel 100. Thank you again, S. Marie B. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Jeff McDaniel 100. Gomer and Gowdy are having too much fun. This is priceless. Yeah. Yoni A. Do I smell toast? Straw got burned. Yeah. So S. Marie B. Thank you very much again. Thank you. Oh, Lord, do I have to do this again? I do.
Not withdraw it. He is not a member of Congress. It's not a violation of the rule. And just as
like every 2 seconds, point of order. Point of order. Point of order. What? And Bob Goodlat's like hilarious. Like, this is it. What? Now what? Now what? Point of order regarding what? And point of order. He said Strzok was smelly, and Strzok smells very nice. I can smell him from here. That's not a point of order at all. You're overruled. Everything is like Gabbers. The smug smirk on Strzok's face is actually quite. It is throughout the hearing. It is creepy. He's like Peter Strzok. Their whole. He's like. You completely destroyed the FBI. I'm sorry you feel that way. If I could cut you up and put you in a soup and eat you, I would. That type of person is that type of person. Swanee Scotty. Good day, HA. Strzok's facial expressions throughout the hearing remind me of a demented evil devil. Yes. Pretty much. I mean, Strzok, but see, the demented evil devil, Swanee Scotty, you just described the government bureaucrat. That's what that is. What would you like me to do? Okay, good. I'll do that. Gonna move up the ranks. Get with the real D. Lisa Page. I'm the number 2. I'm the number 2 counterintelligence. I'm very, very powerful. Meanwhile, he's getting crapped on by everybody. That's what they do. That's how they get, like, you should see, like, you should hear, like, Nixon or JFK, the tapes of them, where they reprimand. Nixon has some hilarious ones. They're reprimanding 4-star generals and treating high-ranking generals during the Vietnam War or before, obviously, maybe right after the Bay of Pigs, or I forgot exactly when, but the Nixon one is reprimanding this Air Force general during the Vietnam War, and it's on tape. And JFK has a couple of them, which is great. But I mean, Swanee Scotty, you got me thinking about this, where they're treating these lofty individuals, these powerful men. They're treating them like nothing. Nixon's like cussing, using profanity, no profanity alerts, cutting this like high-ranking general to nothing. So the poop flows downhill. And it starts from all the way to the top, and the poop flows. And to actually move up, you have to eat a lot of poop. And you just it's just unbelievable. That's why when you see that from when you see that look from Strzok, that look is a look of, I'm totally used to this, and I am really, really just, I'm just okay with eating a lot of poop, as long as I move up in the world. But hold on, let's get to this again.
you have been expressing bias through your members about what a hero.
There's not a single person on this committee who has ever characterized a witness.
Gentlemen from Rhode Island. Gentlemen
Before my time.
That's a
Gentlemen from Rhode Island.
And why are the Democrats always defending? What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of? They're so afraid. It's very much like the House of Commons.
Almost
Praise
suspend.
him. No, the disgrace,
Mr.
what this man has done.
The gentleman
to
from
our justice.
Texas will suspend for a moment.
There is the disgrace. And it won't be recaptured anytime soon because of the damage you've done to the justice system. And I've talked to FBI agents around the country. You've embarrassed them. You've embarrassed yourself. And I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk. Times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about how
Outrageous. Shame on you.
Mr. Chairman, please, there's
You, Mr. Chairman, this is a horrible harassment of
What's
witness.
wrong with that? You need your medication.
Controls the time.
I ask that the witness be permitted to respond to the unthinkable
He will be
if
permitted
you
to
ever
respond.
talked to Hillary Clinton during your investigation, besides the one questioning you mentioned, before that or after that to this day?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Listen to this.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. The gentleman will state his point of order. It is, I think, against the rules of the House for a member of the committee to be impugning the character of a
Jerry, why don't you just shut up and let everyone do their job?
witness.
It is
You
not.
should ask questions to elicit. The purpose of this hearing is to elicit information.
The purpose of this hearing is to ensure that nobody knows exactly how Strzok covered up Clinton's emails, and also how we can just move on and fabricate Trump Russia, and everybody knows the purpose of this hearing.
You should ask questions to elicit information. You should not be impugning the character of the witness. The gentleman,
I object to impugning the character of pure evil Satan. You cannot impugn the character of somebody who is the embodiment of evil and Satan and the devil. So please don't impugn the pure and unadulterated evil. I stand with that statement.
is advised the rules of the House only are directed to members of the House and the President of the United States. In other words, it is okay to impugn the character of witnesses
And then then he goes, and then Jerry Nadler goes. He's upset when he answered the question. It's okay to do that. Then you can actually impugn the character of a Satan, an evil, lying, crazy person like Strzok. Really.
Listen, I've heard many members on your side of the aisle impugn the character of somebody who is covered by the rules of the House. But the gentleman, the gentleman has 20 seconds left. The clock will be turned back on, and he can complete his time, and then the witness can respond.
So if you talk to Hillary other than
This is probably actually better. This exchange is probably the best of the whole thing, even better than the whole wife thing.
Hillary Clinton, other than the time she was examined in front of the witnesses?
No.
So after throwing away what you have with all the bias you have, you've never even gotten a thank you.
The gentleman,
It didn't even get a thank you. He didn't even get a dinner, thank you, no nothing. That's how Clinton does you and things. That's how Clinton does you. She doesn't thank you. These people are doing her bidding without even, at least, like, that phrase, making a deal with the devil. At least you get something. You get fame, then you have like eternal damnation or whatever. You get fame or whatever, cars, anything you want. Oh no, okay, well, the gig is up. Now you got to pay the piper. At least, but you got all this crazy, great things, and then now, okay, you regret it because you have to live in hell forever. But that's not the way Clinton does it. Clinton's like, you're going to help me, and actually, you're not going to get anything in return, and your life's going to be ruined. Great deal. And everyone does it. Bruce or Nellie or James Comey, James Clapper, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, FBI 1, 2, 3, all of them, Glenn Simpson, Christopher Steele, all of these people, they're all getting lawsuits, but not just a lawsuit like, frivolous, like lawsuit from Russian bankers and Russian entrepreneurs and really wealthy people, powerful people who not a matter of just wealthy, that it's like they have the facts on their side. My favorite part was when the Democrat comparing politicians saying Trump messed up with the grab and tape, and Strzok saying he would stop Trump. Exactly, saying Trump messed up with the grab and tape, and Strzok saying he would stop Trump. Yeah. Onderl, yes, that was a good one too. Onderl, thank you. Democrats comparing politicians. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many great parts here. We have 730 people in the middle of the night.
May respond.
Sir, well, that's quite a set of statements.
Mr. Chairman, I did not finish with a question.
The
There was
gentleman,
no question asked.
Mr. Chairman, he's been given the opportunity to
the
respond.
gentleman will suspend. The time of the gentleman has expired.
Louis Gohmert was like, there was specifically no question, so I could tell you how much of an idiot you are. And period, end. So you don't say anything after that. You just have to accept everything I said. Which is awesome, but Bob Goodlatte is the man, and he's, letting Strzok. And of course, Strzok, how dare you?
And as I've indicated,
The rules of our hearings are if there is a question asked during the time, the witness to respond to the question after the time.
the witness is going to be allowed to respond briefly.
That's a new rule.
Sir, first, I assure
No
you,
question.
under
I
oath,
assure you.
as I spoke also during my interview,
Peter Strzok's, I can kind of do Peter Strzok's voice, and I assure you that as I was working to cover up every single aspect of how Hillary Clinton went ahead and transferred her emails from top secret and special access program intelligence, SIPRNet, JWICs, and SCIFs, transferring them to a basement server, I can promise you and tell you I didn't give a darn. It wasn't part of our job to find out how national security was breached and how many lives could have been potentially damaged. Our job was to make sure that Hillary Clinton would win. That was the only thing we were supposed to do.
a week or two ago, I have always told the truth. The fact that you would accuse me otherwise, the fact that you would question whether or not that was the sort of look I would engage.
I never asked for a reach around. And that's the fact that you would even ask me to ask Hillary for that. She doesn't do those things. She goes ahead and ruins people's lives. And like a moth to a flame, we go ahead. And for some reason, I did it, and McCabe and Comey and everyone else did. We got nothing for it, and we lost. But how dare you even say these bad things about me when I didn't find out how she transferred top secret intelligence onto her basement server located next to her toilet.
With and a family member who I have acknowledged hurting goes more to a discussion about your character and what you stand for and what is going inside you.
It's to your credit.
I suggest, Mr. Gohmert, that you look in your heart and you find out if you have every right to judge me, somebody who single-handedly destroyed the FBI. You go ahead and see if you can judge me, somebody who didn't even pass a polygraph, and yet who basically deleted 5 references to gross negligence, so Hillary Clinton wouldn't get charged under 793F of the Espionage Act. Don't you dare impugn my integrity, which is similar to the integrity of a demon in hell sitting next to Satan.
Right.
And you lost your credibility.
You've
lost your credibility.
While
That's
I doubt
the
it
problem.
plays well
Gentleman
to
from
America,
Texas
I'm not sure
the gentleman from Texas will suspend. The witness has had ample opportunity to express his feelings about that, and now the chair recognizes.
Mr. Chairman, there is a discussion about the representative's first assertion about what the ICIG said that I would like to respond to.
Very briefly.
Very briefly. I have no recollection of that conversation. I can tell you.
I have no recollection of that conversation. I can tell you that I did meet with the person. That person did take DNA samples from me with actually a tool that ripped open parts of my skin. I do not have any recollection of any of this. I wasn't under any medication either. either. This was all lucid and sober, but I can tell you 100% that when the Inspector General took tissue from me, ripped the tissue from my arm, I have no recollection at all. And I don't remember as he was doing it, he was telling me about the Special Access Program intelligence outside the U.S. government. I don't remember that. I don't remember anything, and it's an ongoing investigation. It's classified. I wasn't there, and I wasn't doing the redacting, sir.
I'm not a computer forensic expert. I can tell you that every allegation that we had, and ICIG was a great and close partner, every allegation that we had, whether from them or anybody else, was forwarded to experts.
This was forwarded to experts. Great people like Andrew McCabe, experts. Like Bruce and Nellie Orr, experts. Like James Comey, experts. Like Honey Bunny Lisa Page, experts. I assure you there were safeguards, there were experts, there were people, there were doormen, there were security guards, there were chauffeurs, there were different levels at every single place within the FBI, level after level after level after level. And that you can't even fall without someone catching you. It's bureaucracy like you've never seen. And I, sure, am very upset that you would impugn my good name. Strocky Poo. Meet you outside.
Who looked at it? The scores and scores of servers and BlackBerries and emails and everything we got were combed over carefully, but
the scores and scores of emails and BlackBerries we got after they were bleach bit and broken and put into sulfuric acid and urinated on and thrown down the Grand Canyon and ran over by a herd of Clydesdales and then thrown into the bottom of the ocean. I can assure you that they were all looked at. And we found nothing.
By the FBI's experts to see if there's any indicia of injury.
But you don't recall going over
Indicia.
those emails, correct?
Gentlemen,
I have no idea what you're talking about, and frankly,
and the witness will
I have no idea what you're talking about. Absolutely no idea.
spend
I
as well.
do not know what you're talking about.
That
You
is
just
enough.
can't let a witness
The-
go on forever.
The
When the fact is, you never did anything
Mr. Chairman,
about them,
Oh.
correct?
Regular order.
You didn't do anything
Well, was-
about it.
Sir, if there was a lead, give it to the team. Unequivocally.
the gentleman,
There was nothing along
Mr.
the lines
Strzok,
that
you will
was not addressed.
spend.
All right, so Strzok got owned. F. Peter Strzok, HA, let's put this out into the ether. Yoni loves Ariella. Yoni loves Ariella. Visions of Ariella. Yoni loves Ariella. Ariella is a beautiful name. Visions of Ariella. And Yoni, I can't wait for that to be in the movies or on TV. Keep on writing. Congratulations on all your great work. And thank you so much for always supporting this channel. He sounds so confident because, ladies and gentlemen, he is a really, really great liar. And he hides behind. What they did was this also. He might also believe his nonsense because what they did is like, okay, team, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to investigate anything that could actually harm Clinton legally. So we'll just say that she went ahead and, just mishandled things by accident. They use the word mishandled. They use the word intent. They use the word emails, but they don't use the word transfer, server, basement, hack, and classified intelligence outside the U.S. government. There is more classified intelligence outside the U.S. government than inside the U.S. government because of Hillary Clinton. And when they say there's not one shred of evidence, where is the evidence that Trump used an unencrypted server with special access program intelligence? That's Hillary. The evidence is there for Hillary. If it was there for Trump, oh my God, he would have already been indicted. Strzok called us hillbillies. Hillary called us deplorable. Obama called us clingers, and Trump calls us Americans. That's the difference between elite politicians and a leader of the people. Exactly. I mean, this whole thing, they went from deplorable to Nazi. They went from correct the record to even more bullying. They went from cheating. You I'm reading some of that. They double down on every failed attempt. They doubled down on every failed attempt. And that's the sad part. They just doubled down on every single failed attempt, the Democratic Party. Now they're like, well, maybe we should just go ahead and defend corrupt FBI agents. Maybe we should go ahead and continue to push the Russian hacking. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Why would you want a political party that blames Russia for its failures? Absolutely, John Doe. Absolutely. Thank you. I always knew this was baloney. I always knew this was BS. I always knew this was because there's no evidence. There's of Clinton's crimes. We're finding that out. Strzok is even more guilty than Hillary. In a way, he is because he enabled. In a way, he is because he was supposed to protect us and he didn't. And that's the really dangerous thing, you know. That's the really dangerous thing. Lisa Page to meet with Congress behind closed doors. She has a new look, and I like it. I'm not being facetious. Much better than that poor Lisa Page with the paparazzi photo, which is hilarious. But she looks great. So Paul Sperry is awesome. Ooh, yes, Jim Jordan. Let's do Jim Jordan. From FBI Better. Strzok embarrassed the FBI today. Agents past and present. He looked and sounded like a jerk. Hold on. Busted. Wait, why? Hold on one second. Strzok embarrassed the FBI today. Agents past and present. He looked and sounded like a jerk. Not going to go over well with the American people. Also, he's under an OPR, but has FBI counsel. How's that work? Office of Professional Responsibility, but has... Yeah, and that's the thing. Wait a second. How can Strzok be under Office of Professional Responsibility investigation for misconduct by the FBI at the same time be protected and aided by FBI counsel? He might be lying. This is Paul Sperry is awesome. Strzok had to retake an internal FBI security polygraph after flags were raised in 2016 polygraph because he didn't pass it. He did not fully pass, yet he was allowed to retain access to security clearance. So now we know FBI sources include David Corn and of the far left rag Mother Jones, as well as liberal journal Michael Isikoff. In addition to Clinton retained Oppo Research Simpson and Steele. What a motley crew Strzok assembled to gun for Trump. This should frighten every citizen. It should. And whether this leads directly to indictments or whether it slowly erodes the edifice of all of this and then eventually leads to indictments of certain key people and then charges for Hillary Clinton, eventually charges will be leveled against Clinton. It's just a matter of when. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not sustainable. I know it's a dumb thing to say. I always say, not sustainable, not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Cooper sees truth. HA, do you know anything about this recent story of Rosenberg sending a letter to over 30 U.S. attorneys asking volunteers for a team to look into SCOTUS nominee Kavanaugh? Sessions needs to wake up. What they want to do is look over his work during the Bush administration. So I think it's more of a procedural thing. They're not going to find anything on the guy. He's like super, super clean, super, super, Amy Shaw. Apparently, I'm not the only insomniac and good maniac here. Thank you. Thank you, Amy Shaw. Thank you so much, as always, Amy. Thank you. So Cooper sees truth. Kavanaugh is going to get confirmed almost certainly before the midterms, but Kavanaugh will get confirmed. Amy Shaw, thank you. Apparently, I'm not the only insomniac and good maniac here. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Cooper sees truth. Thank you. Lennon McCarthy, Democrats voters didn't realize in 2018 and 2020 they will lose bigly and still blame Russia and be crying their eyes out like idiots. Yeah? Well, they don't care. Well, why would you care? Who would care? I mean, you and I would care, obviously, but I mean, if you're just into money, it is lucrative. It is lucrative. You're making a lot of money for losing. You're making a lot of money for losing. If you can blame Russia and you have everyone in Hollywood and you have De Niro and everyone else and all these, these producers that are these Hollywood, moguls that are a million times more wealthy than De Niro. De Niro probably has a great deal of money, hasn't made a great film in a long time. So I want to punch Trump. How about making sure the DNC doesn't cheat Bernie Sanders, Mr. Tough Guy? But Kavanaugh can't, so he'll have two. He'll have two. I think what Trump should have done is picked Amy Barrett and just watch the Democratic Party eat itself up by trying to attack a woman. And a very qualified woman basically doing a complete and utter 180 regarding everything that it stood for. They make so much money at these wealthy fundraisers. That's why the Clinton Foundation is a place where people can meet up and fund businesses, fund all of these things. It's a meetup function. It's just a networking function where it's a money laundering organization. That's why you have Uranium One and the former owners, and then you have gee, that's a coinky dink. Cash flowing to Clinton Foundation. That's bizarre. But let's go ahead. So you have Strzok and then Jim Jordan. So her emails were all over the place. We already know that. And now Lisa Page is going to testify tomorrow. Excuse me. It's become clear Strzok and his personal attorneys have coordinated this testimony and strategy of defense with Nadler and minority staffs. Exactly. And Senate staff and Democratic staffs. In other words, Strzok now appears to have been completely politicized and co-opted by the Democrats as one of their own. Well, of course. They're covering for him because it's interesting. Like, don't they want the truth? Like, wouldn't they, if they trust Peter Strzok, wouldn't they want him to speak as much as possible about Trump's crimes? But they don't want that. Strzok testified Mueller kicked him off his team, not because of clear bias he revealed in his text messages, but because of appearance. Yeah, it's appearance of bias, yes, because the appearance in this case, or in any case, almost certainly links to action. In other words, he implied Mueller would have kept him if not for the political fallout. If that's true, Mueller should be called to testify. Yeah, get Mueller out. He's just in this ivory tower of. It's now abundantly clear IG Horowitz did a half-assed investigation of Strzok. Absolutely, we need an aggressive independent counsel. Well, if we get an independent counsel, it's game, set, match. So, and we're not looking at if we get an independent counsel, Hillary indictments will be much sooner than later. Much sooner than later. So, Amy Shaw. So, hold on one second. So, all right. So, if you get an independent counsel, it is game over. Game over, man. Game over. Because you're not going to be indicting people on 10-year-old bank issues. It's not going to be, oh, well, we're going to make a flip. No one's going to have to flip and sing. We'll have all the information. The public record is enough. You don't need to flip and sing. They always say it's a conspiracy theory, and then, oh, well, look, wow, there actually is no evidence. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? Jeff McDaniel, no one is more guilty than Hillary. Anonymous D, thank you. Thank you, Anonymous D. So I might have missed some. Thank you, Eric H526. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please go ahead. Share this segment. Well, we have John Huber. Yeah, but John Huber is more, you know what? He could go ahead and indict people. Absolutely. So you have John Huber. An independent counsel, though, you have somebody with its reason for existence is to indict people. Mueller is just the most, my God, just he's there only as a psychological, like a therapy session. Like, look, okay, we can go ahead and destroy people's lives because James Clapper and John Brennan and James Comey said, oh yeah, Russia interfered, even though they lied. Federal government studies sex life of coked out quail. Not Dan Quayle, the actual quail. Wow. This is Rand Paul. All taxpayers should be angry at such government waste. Haven't you ever wondered, though? Ladies and gentlemen, let's do Jim Jordan really quickly. Peter Strzok admits that FBI got parts of dossier from top DOJ official Bruce Orswolf Nelly worked for Fusion GPS. How is this not so obvious? How is this not so obvious to everyone here? Like, I mean, everyone in the U.S. I mean, every Democrats and Republicans. Okay, so this is
the smell there too. That's the problem.
This is Jim Jordan, who is the man. Hold on. All right, why is this not working? There's only 3. Yeah,
Mueller didn't ask him any questions. Didn't ask him about his bias and some of these crazy things he had said in his text messages. So this investigation started off with, I think, with this baloney dossier, and now at the end, when they're getting rid of Peter Strzok, there's all kinds of smell there too. That's the problem.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead. Call it an evening. Lisa Page testifies. Every single day, the roof is caving in from the evil, from the weight of their corruption and deceit. And every single day, thank you, Ireland. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Scotland. Thank you, everyone. Every single day, you and I are being vindicated. Every single day, what you and I have stated from 2015 till now. People were saying, no, don't publish this guy in Salon, because I was saying everything that's taking place. Amy Shaw, Jordan is like a pit bull. Peace out, gang. Thank you, Amy Shaw. Thank you, Amy Shaw. Thank you. Thank you. The support from the support from my viewers is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to the super chat people. Thank you, Amy Shaw. Thank you so much. And I was published in The Hill. I was a Hill contributor, so Huffington Post, so not just Salon. But thank you so very much. Subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe to H.A. Goodman on YouTube. And if you're into the Second Amendment, I have a Second Amendment channel. It's H.A. Second Amendment. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, everyone. Sleep well. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk about Lisa Page's testimony. It's getting good. Thank you so very much, everyone. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow. And we're being vindicated every single day. Thank you again. Sleep well.